Hey y'all, hey. So let's talk about it. Let me tell you how your hands may have an issue with the way you go about doing things. Some of the issues that you might be having in life. Let's talk about it. So y'all, we're talking about these hands. So your hands. If you're somebody who's having any issues with the hands, it could be that you have poor ability to handle life situations. You may be somebody who says that I can't deal with things, or you don't want to be bothered with dealing with things. You always feel like you're the one that's lending out lending hands to people, and you're not receiving it back to yourself. You may have a lot of stiffness in your hands and your wrists and things of that nature. You may find that you constantly have your fists clenched for sometimes no apparent reason. You may be somebody who is highly show criticism of yourself. You may be somebody who worries a lot, which will increase arthritic pain. You may be somebody who fears the future, or like what's to come, or just not happy about what's going on in life. You may be somebody that is shows poor ability to jump into your faith, or if you're unhappy with the faith that you're in, to start the start of a new way that you will do your faith. Let's split the hands up, because you know we got a right and we got a left. So if you are a right-handed pain person, or any issues with the hand, so I don't just want to say pain, any issues with the hand. It could be that you have a feeling of feeling lost. You feel like your creativity is very low. You may have a fear of the future. You may be somebody who struggles with your feelings because you feel frustrated a lot. If you are somebody who struggles with hand issues, that's the left hand. You may be somebody who has, so let me say this, the left hand is considered the feminine side of the body, the feminine hand. And so you may have a lot of complications or issues with the female members of your family. So your mother, your grandmother, your sisters, your aunts, you might find that you're always in conflict with those people. You may be a person that is a natural loner, but you like to isolate yourself. You don't want to really be bothered. You may have a poor ability to have self-care, to take care of you. You also may be unclear what your life path is supposed to be. You also may be somebody who struggles to find the direction that your life is supposed to be in, kind of similar to not being able to find your life path. You may be somebody who is always looking for somebody else to fix it, or looking for a handout, just not taking the initiative to do the things that you would like to do. You may be somebody who lacks the ability to empower yourself. And so, with those things, let's talk about the things that you can do to help remedy some of the issues that you may be having. So, the hands are magical. And so rubbing your hands together, what is it going to do? It's going to create friction. It's going to create warmth. It's going to generate a lot of things. There's a lot of power within your hands when you learn how to utilize them right. So you want to make sure that you are a person that rubs your hands together, does a lot of heating of the hands, so that you can continue, so you can have circulation going, so you can pull pain out of those systems and things of that nature. But as you're rubbing your hands together, specifically your palms, you want to visualize removing any of those blocks. So any of the things that you have going on with you while you're rubbing those hands, talk to yourself. Talk to your hands. Tell your hands, hey, listen, what's going on? How can we get rid of these things? How can I get rid of some of these blocks? How can I get rid of some of this worry? How can I boost up the empowerment of myself? How can I get my self-care together so that I can do these things? Thank your hands. Also, massage your hands, shake your hands. Shaking your hands and massaging your hands, your fingers, and all parts of your hands, it releases a lot of stiffness within your hands. Opening and closing your hands, because what happens is the more flexible your hands are, the more you're able to receive and release those things that you're holding in your hands that are not allowing you to move forward. Like I said, do exercises with your hands, open them, close them. There are things that you can do. You can put your fingers together. You can interlock your fingers together. Make sure that your palms are always touching together when you are doing those things. When you are rubbing, make sure those palms are touching. I do a lot of this. If you've ever seen me, I don't have no issues with my hands, but I do a lot of this. Why? Because it carries a lot of energy. I'll do this. The praying hands. Think about why we pray. you're asking for something. So in order to get that something, they're asking you to put your hands together so that you can create that energy that's needed for those things that you are asking and or you're praying about. So, clasp your fingers together. If you're into mudras, do a little bit of research on mudras and see how holding those hand mudras will help you to release some of the things that may be going on with your hand, as well as release some other things in association with whatever that mudra is. So let's talk about my favorite part. Y'all know my favorite part is the herbs. But as always, if you are under the services of any healthcare provider, make sure that you talk to them. Every provider that is taking care of you, any provider that is giving you any medications, the whole care team is what I'm trying to tell you. Make sure that you talk to a pharmacist. The pharmacist will be that person that will look over your medications and say, yes, no, you might want to not do this, or you might want to lower this, or you might want to increase this, because it might have what's called an interaction or a reaction to something that you may currently be taking. If you're not taking anything, I still will talk to a pharmacist, because so that you could just really get the composition of what it is that you're taking, or do your own research. I know I talked about a lot of these things, and sometimes you cannot self-manage them. So you might be somebody who needs to add a psychiatrist or a psychologist. The difference in the two, a psychiatrist is typically a practitioner that will prescribe medicine for you. A psychologist typically does not prescribe medicine, but they're that person that can talk you through a lot of things, that can give you the tools that you may need in order to get some things off of you. And what we're talking about is a lot of holistic things. So if you're looking for a holistic practitioner, that may take a little bit of work. So what you'll do is you'll search your area for a holistic practitioner, he, she, or they, if they are in your community. That is something that typically is not covered under your insurance. So that may be an additional cost. So you might want to reach out and just to see what it is that you can get, or the cost of their services and things of that nature. So, but let's talk about these herbs. I'm gonna give you 10 herbs that you could potentially be using right now if your hands are bothering you. Turmeric. So turmeric has anti-inflammatory properties, and what it's going to do is going to help you to ease and soothe some of the stiffness that you may have in your hands. Ginger. Ginger will help. It has anti-inflammatory properties, and it will help to increase circulation. So if you feel like sometimes your hands are tingly, numb, you don't know why, your hands feel like that sleep feeling, get your little ginger. It might help to boost some of the circulation that's stagnant in your hands. Arnica. It's more for arthritic pain, so it helps to decrease some of the pain that you may have in your hands. It's specific to arthritis. Boswellia, so Boswellia, or frankincense. So this is it has anti-inflammatory properties. However, it's going to help to soothe some of the joint pain that you may be having. Ginkgo biloba, it is going to help to increase blood flow and decrease any nerve issues that you're having by increasing the functions of your nerves. White willow bark, which is the natural aspirin. So this right here will tell me that if I'm somebody that's already taking an aspirin and I add this to my regimen, this could potentially have an interaction, boosting up how much aspirin that I have in my system. So be very careful with it, just because I know what the composition is. This has anti-inflammatory properties, and this is something that will aid in decreasing pain, as well as anything that you would use aspirin for. Cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper, it is going to help to increase circulation. Again, if you got that tingling, you want to get some circulation moving fast, get you a little bit of cayenne. And so cayenne is capsaicin, and so it's going to be used topically. It's one of those things that you will rub on your head. So I'm not telling you to go take no cayenne pepper. I want you to use this topically. And so this will be something, again, rubbing those hands together, creating heat, creating warmth. And so what this does is it increases circulation, and it has the potential to decrease any pains that you may have in your hands. Nettles. So nettles is very rich in minerals, and it is going to have an anti-inflammatory properties within it, and it's going to help to support your joint and support your bones. Devil's claw. This is going to help to decrease any pain or any stiffness that you may have in your hand. It also helps with joint mobility. And finally, we have aloe vera. aloe vera is the GOAT. So aloe vera has anti-inflammatory properties, but you're going to use this externally, and you are going to make sure that, like, if you have any cracks or anything, and that's what's the issues that are bothering your hands, you'll make sure that you rub some aloe vera on your hands. Again, don't forget my disclaimer. Talk to your doctors, talk to the pharmacists, add the necessary parties that you need to have on your regimen, and I hope this helps.